Welcome to another episode. I am V, and this is the Sussex set. Lili is here. Oh my gosh, guys. Sorry I sound a little bit under the weather. That's kind of where I've been. I've been not feeling the best. But all of that aside, pardon me if I sound disgusting. I actually took today off. I sometimes I work on Sundays. I actually took today off. And I'm glad I did, because when I saw the news, I jumped up. I actually saw Chris's tweet, because she said her neighbor came to check on her to see why she screamed. And I said, well, that can only mean one thing, but let me make sure that I'm not just reading into things. And according to all the other tweets that came behind that one, Lili is here. And so I also screamed, jumped up, and here I am. So this is going to be a rough podcast. I normally have my notes prepared and at least some kind of rough outline with of what I'm going to talk about. But I was actually even working on a podcast, because I have been doing that over the last month and a half, because the last podcast I recorded was actually after the funeral. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about that. I've done that 2 or 3 times, just trying to get to the point where I can actually record and edit and do all of that. I deleted everything I had right on my laptop and said, screw it. I'm recording this podcast because the girl is here. She is here to claim her throne. Do you understand? I have never been more excited. I thought I would be like, okay, well, you know what? This is his baby number 2. Honey, this is the girl. This is the queen. Do you understand? They named her Lilibet. Now, I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like that, because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the name. I said a lot of them not going to like that. A lot of them are really just not going to like that. But just because, I know how, Squad kind of sort of feels about the queen and her lack of authority, as a lot of us see it in the whole last couple of years. But clearly they have respect and love for Elizabeth as a person. And, who am I to tell somebody to not name their child after their mother and grandmother or grandmother? I am named after both of my grandmothers, my first name and my middle name. So, that's just how it goes sometimes. And I'm sure that's a name that she will carry with dignity and love, and because it means so much to Harry, especially because this child's great grandmother, who is still alive, the Queen of England, and then her grandmother Diana has had such a storied life, and sadly her life was cut short, but means so much to Harry, of course, shaping him to be the man that he is today. And I mean, the girl is she's a queen already. Long live the queen, you a queen, you know it. Queen already, my baby, you know what? She's a queen. Do you understand? Her grandmama is her great grandmother anyway, is literally a queen. Her grandmother's a queen. Both of her grandmothers are queen. Her mama's a queen. She's named after all the queens. She is the queen. Do you understand? So we got King Archie and Queen Lili, period. And I love that their little names rhyme, because everybody's gonna call her Lili. Oh, girl, can we just think about just for a moment, how mad the haters are going to be. And just for a second, because I'm not really trying to delve down that rabbit hole. The fact that she's named after the queen's nickname, or the nickname for Elizabeth, the girls have to be livid. It's time to see some of them heads explode, because that's what I was promised. Because I'm ready. Because y'all to put that girl through hell for not one, but two of her pregnancies. It just so happens to be that the second pregnancy, she was in the protection of her home state, her home country, and around her family. She was removed from all the BS. That almost ended her in that first pregnancy. But now you got her daughter, right? Because she's basically the princess of America, period. I was promised that heads would explode, and I would like to see it. Yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to hear that as the background soundtrack to this podcast for the entirety of this podcast. But anyway, let me go ahead and read the official statement just word for word, because we are going to mark this occasion just like we marked the birth of Archie. Do you understand? And I'm just so excited. Aren't you guys so over the moon about her arrival and the way they just sprung it on us? Here we were yesterday, or here everybody was yesterday, just going on about their lives. And Meghan had already given birth, and none of us knew. And that's exactly how it should be and how it should have been for Archie's arrival. But the statement reads, and it has Harry and Meghan's logo at the top, but I don't know if this is from the palace or them, but let me just read it. It says, statement from the press secretary for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Yeah. It is with great joy that Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, welcome their daughter Lilibet, Lili, inverted commas, Diana Mountbatten Windsor to the world. Lili was born on Friday, June 4th at 11:40 a.m. in the trusted care of doctors and staff at the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in Santa Barbara, California. Hey, she weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces. Both mother and child are healthy and well and settling in at home. You feel me? Oh, I just love reading these words. Lili is named after her great-grandmother, Her Majesty the Queen, whose family nickname is Lilibet. Her middle name, Diana, was chosen to honor her beloved late grandmother, the Princess of Wales. Oh, this is the second child for the couple, who also have a 2-year-old son named Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. The Duke and Duchess thank you for your warm wishes and prayers as they enjoy this special time as a family. Oh, they must be so happy. Oh my God. I can just picture Harry with his little girl. He finally has his little girl. And Meghan has her little girl. I think it would have been just a cruel twist of fate for Meghan to not have a daughter. But they have their little girl. Archie has his little sister. They have what they should have always had, or at least in terms of the experience of being a parent, being a new parent, what they should have had with Archie. And I'm so glad that they at least get to experience this with their daughter. And in a weird way, I bet they appreciate just this is normal. What they're experiencing now is normal. Just quiet, rest, peace, happiness, joy, all of the things that come with, we're just focused on the good things that come with, bringing a baby into the world, into the home. And so much of, Archie's arrival was marred in absolute chaos and nonsense. That they can appreciate this, the normal way of doing things, that much more, and share it with Archie. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for them. And they have their family. I think this is the moment that so many people have been trying to prevent, sadly. I'm just going to say it as it is. So many people have been trying to prevent this family from forming as it is today. as it is now. They're just two people just trying to live their lives. They're in love. They married. They, are trying to do what they feel is, contributing to the world, and to do that in peace, as is their right. That upsets a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't want them to get to this moment. Harry said it himself. They weren't going to be satisfied until she was no longer here. But here she is. I'm giving birth on your haters because I'm fertile. I'm sorry. Beyonce talks so much shit. But that she be telling the truth, because Meghan is giving birth on you haters because she's fertile. And she's only choosing to stop it too. Do you understand? So yes, Lilibet is here, and already Twitter is cutting up because, since Harry and Meghan left the UK, and sometimes I got to delve into the humor. Since they left the UK, we know there's been a lot of allegations about the royal family and some unsavory anecdotes about what people of color may have been experiencing as being a part of the institution, including but not limited to Meghan. And, of course, the UK press and the tabloid press specifically driving that, and or collaborating and helping to coordinate it. But listen, I just saw a tweet. So basically, we're celebrating Lilibet, period. But I just saw a tweet that said, y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but it says, how black is she? Just a little bit. I'm sorry. So it's kind of like we're celebrating it, but everybody is relieved. I feel, at least in terms of Americans who are Harry and Meghan fans, that it's outside of that institution. And girl, royal family girl, y'all can celebrate. Y'all can high five from afar. Y'all can do whatever it is that y'all got to do to say that y'all happy, or to put out the impression that you're happy. It's fine, because it don't matter. But we can joke about it. And that was not my tweet, by the way. But it's going to be viewed in the context of, this is how you treated them, right? This is how you treated that family. Worrying about their skin color. So you're going to always be roasted. And of course, in the last couple of days, or in the last week or so, there's been so many stories. The big one was the Guardian story about, the lack of ethnic minorities, quote unquote, and immigrants in clerical roles working in Buckingham Palace, and how even though, discriminatory hiring practices such as that are illegal, the palace is still exempt from them. All kind of stuff. So things that just kind of confirm what people know about or believe about the royal family. Never mind the fact that the entire institution is rooted in and founded on racism. Okay, but people are cutting up. So if you're on Twitter, because that's where I tend to be most of the time, you'll probably see a lot of that. So I just say take it in stride, and just enjoy the celebrations and the moment that we heard this incredibly wonderful news. So tacked on to the end of their announcement on their website, Harry and Meghan have also said that they've named 4 organizations, saying that for those inquiring on sending gifts, we ask that you support or learn more about these organizations working for women and girls. How fitting. Girls Inc., Harvest Home, CamFed, or I'm going to say that's Mina Mahila Foundation. So as they do, right on brand, supporting girls, because that is something that's very important to them. Girls' voices, girls' empowerment, girls seeing themselves as equally capable, able, valuable to society, in the way that society promotes boys just without thinking. And just setting the tone straight out of the gate. And then it says, while the Duke and Duchess are on parental leave, Archewell will continue to do important work and publish stories on the site, and we look forward to seeing you. So a couple things. No leaks. No leaks. We didn't know anything about it. We learned about it 2 whole days later. Running a tight ship is what Harry and Meghan are doing. But that's also just called professionalism too. And maybe it's just that they don't know how to be professional where Harry and Meghan came from. But we didn't know anything. I didn't hear anything about, there's a buzz in Santa Barbara, or, hey, this might be happening, or what have you. We don't know whether it was a home birth, a hospital birth. I mean, it mentioned the hospital in California, but maybe that's just, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not even going to speculate. But the point is, we didn't hear anything until they were ready for us to hear what they wanted us to hear, which is that their baby is safe, and Meghan and baby are healthy and happy, and they're all at home. Like, when you look at this in the context of what the institution demanded of Meghan in her first pregnancy, and this is where my respect for Meghan just runs so deep. Even as a quote unquote new Duchess, she said, I'm not doing that. Now, what they put her through was really horrid, right? Because that's still an intrusion and an invasion of her privacy. But she still managed to announce the birth of her son in a way that was okay with her and okay with Harry. But they were demanding that she stand on the street and, because you're publicly tax funded, and, show us your baby, and have all the cameras and all of that in her face. And she still held her own. When you look at the fact that, they were just able to just regularly give birth, regularly go home. And then you look at what royal women have put up with, I think, and this is one of the points that I was going to actually just talk about on one of the next podcasts, was just how Harry and Meghan living their life just as regular folks, but still making a great impact, as we saw with, like, for example, Vax Live, and as we see with the Me You Can't See, them just living their lives, but still also having those major life events like the birth of a child. Looking at how they do it and contrasting it with how the royal family does it and demanded they do it while they were still a part of the institution as working royals, it really highlights how archaic the institution is. And people, like, more and more people, the more you see Harry and Meghan doing it their way, the more you have to question whether the royal family is needed at all, because everything they do and the way they do it, it's so dehumanizing. Even to the members that are already there, whether you like them or not, right? Y'all already know how I feel about Karen the Duchess, but I still don't think she should, have to stand on the street. But of course, she's just gonna take it because she's so used to just doing what people tell her to do. You could say she's bought into it, and she might be more than happy to do that. But that's cruel, right? On the day you give birth, you wouldn't demand of any other mother to stand up and take pictures with their kid to a bunch of strangers. I don't know. I just think about that, and I just can't believe that that's something that they made Meghan, that they tried to make Meghan do. While it might have been cool in the 80s, because that was Diana's choice as well, it just doesn't fit for like the new millennium. Just as a lot of other things just don't fit for the new millennium. And Harry and Meghan are living in the current time. Like, they are the modern royal family. And so as they continue to go on their path, it's going to be directly compared to what they left behind. And so that does not work for the royal family. And you can't say anything. You can't criticize Harry and Meghan just for living their lives, right? So that's the beauty in all of this. They're just living. They're just living. So what are the royal family doing? And on your dime, you know. But that's neither here nor there. One thing I did notice in the statement, which I thought was sweet, but also sort of a just so you know type of phrase, was that they refer to Diana as the Princess of Wales, which technically at the end of her life, she wasn't the Princess of Wales anymore because she was divorced. And she supposedly was just to revert back to Lady Diana. But to me, as has been said many times, really since her passing, was that she's really just always going to be seen as the Princess of Wales. And she's the only Princess of Wales almost after that, because people will always associate Diana, the name Diana, with the title, the Princess of Wales, even though that title is given to whoever is, you know, the wife of the Prince of Wales, whoever that happens to be. Today it's Charles, but Camilla, she's not referred to as a Princess of Wales. I don't even know if that's her unofficial title, but she's just a Duchess of Cornwall. And so the Mugsits are all trying to go ahead and try to get Kate prepared to be the new Princess of Wales. And I don't even think England, like people who either are on the fence or just straight out royalists, are really even going to see Kate as the quote unquote Princess of Wales, just because they will always associate that with Diana. So there's probably going to be some people saying, well, you know, Diana wasn't the Princess of Wales when she died, but she was the Princess of Wales in her life. So that's absolutely true. But there's going to be nitpicking over that. And who cares? Because I don't care what anybody who comes after Diana ever calls themselves, whether they even call themselves the Princess of Wales. Nobody's going to regard them the same way that they regarded Diana, both in her life and death. So I like that they included that, because there's really ever only going to be one that history recognizes in the way that that we recognize Diana in association with that title. So Buckingham Palace also released a statement. I will go ahead and read that just for the record. Kind of dry if you ask me, but hey, what else are we gonna expect? But it says the Queen, the Prince of Wales, and the Duchess of Cornwall and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have been informed and are delighted with the news of the birth of a daughter for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That's your obligatory statement, acknowledgement, what have you, whatever. In America, girl, what we gonna do, we gonna celebrate, because this is our royal family, you understand? And while we don't actually have royalty, we claim them and them only, so thanks for your little statement. All the rest of the quote unquote real royals, that was sweet. I'm glad you're delighted. Lili will meet y'all whenever she meets y'all, I'm sure there's probably been some zooming. I'm assuming there's been some zooming, but certainly to the Queen, if she's the only person who has laid her eyes on on this child that resides on that island. Certainly the queen, A, because she's the queen, but B, because she's also a grandmother and also literally the person that the child is named for. And so I hope that's nice. And at some point, I'm sure the queen will meet the baby and see Archie again. Because Harry and Meghan say, y'all ain't coming near our children. Not the queen. I'm sure he would love to, but of course there has been a pandemic. There's been travel restrictions, and everybody's just trying to be safe. But I still contend, and I will die on this hill. Will and Kate only gonna get a glimpse. That's me being petty, because that's all they deserve. God damn it. Charles, girl, we don't know what you gonna do, but you still the granddaddy. So supposedly he actually did see Archie a lot when Archie was living in England, but Will and Kate did not. And I don't know if y'all remember, it was only after Archie moved to North America or actually it was right before, that Will and Kate, because they were, still manipulating, using the media, which, I guess they don't really know any other way to operate, saying, oh, well, I would love for Archie to get to know his little cousins and to spend a little bit more time with Archie. And then the next, couple of days, Harry and Meghan said, actually, he ain't coming back. And they didn't. He didn't. Archie hasn't set foot in England for over a year. Probably... definitely more than half of his life. And here we have our American princess born here on American soil, a California girl just like her mother. Do you understand? And we really wouldn't have it any other way. So Queen Lili gonna see y'all when she see y'all. You feel me? Right now, she's just enjoying this California lifestyle. The queen of her realm, nary a British accent to be heard within a 3,000 mile... Well, shit, her dad's British. Okay, outside of that, within a 3,000 mile radius, probably bigger, she has land and palm trees and chickens and Doria. Y'all, I'm so excited. Let's talk about the world's reaction. So, of course, what Harry and Meghan will always have going for them, despite the fact that, when they left England, everybody said, well, you're walking away from all this and you're going to be on your own. American media said, no, they will not be. Newsflash, girl, our media is more influential than y'all's. So they have the American media, and have had the American media and the world's media, really, reporting on all of their news, all of their major news since leaving the royal family, but also before. But really, since they left, they've gotten that much more, it seems to me anyway, that much more attention from American media since they're here in America. Starting with Twitter. Twitter has Harry and Meghan, hashtag Harry and Meghan at number 5, certainly in the top 10. I always keep my location on America. Now, if I were to switch over to UK trends, I'm going to go ahead and guess, and I'm going to actually do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Harry and Meghan and or related hashtags and or topics will be trending probably for at least, 5 to 10 out of all of the ones that it lists. But generally speaking in America, because today is a Sunday, sports tends to trend higher on Sundays because Americans, we love sports, but so many sports are played on Sunday. I don't know if that's the case everywhere else, but it probably is. So that tends to trend on Sundays. But Harry and Meghan are still in the top 5. Let me see. So Lilibet is number 4. As of right now, this is like a Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday afternoon in America, so I guess evening in the UK. Royal Baby is also trending, as well as Elizabeth. Oh, Doria is trending as well. Number 18. I bet I can guess why that's trending. Let me tell you something. All y'all trying to say, well, Harry and Meghan, they left Doria out of the equation. Harry probably wanted to name his own daughter after his own mom. I mean, they could have thrown in Doria if they wanted to. They didn't. I'm sure Doria is secure enough to not be throwing a fit or to even be feeling any type of way about the fact that her granddaughter was named after the Queen, the Queen, right? Harry's great grandmother and his mother. Personally, and I'm not involved. All right, I would have been okay with whatever they named their daughter, but who are you? Who is anybody to say what two people should name their child? And that's just really one of the problems with being famous, and then also with being a member of an institution where people think that they have ownership and that their opinions over your life choices actually matters. It doesn't. But of course, Sussex Squad always on the case, having to point out that Doria's nickname for her daughter Meghan is Flower, and Lili being the nickname or the shortened version of the child's actual name, Lilibet, is also a flower, Lili. That's actually my mom's favorite flower. So, just let things be what they're going to be. And the way I see it is Doria will have far more influence and will make a great impression on her grandchildren's lives. Anyone listening can just think of, if they're lucky enough to think of the impression that their grandmothers have made on their lives, if they were lucky enough to have them in their lives, both in their youth and adulthood. So Doria's fine. Doria is with her grandchildren, and I think that's the biggest gift that any woman who is a grandmother can receive, right, from their child, is to be in that child's life. Because unfortunately, Diana didn't get that opportunity. She never even got to meet a single one of her grandchildren, So all in perspective, one of my favorite phrases in life is, when in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. You feel me? Look at the big picture. The big picture is Doria has her children right there. I can't imagine what Doria must have felt, seeing Meghan go through what she went through. We all saw what looked like worry on her face when Meghan was in the church getting married, not knowing what was around the corner, but sort of having an idea of what Meghan was about to be put through, but still hoping that that wasn't the case and that the family had evolved past that, realizing that it didn't. And I saw a tweet, like really within the last, I would say, 3 or 4 weeks. And somebody said, hey, you guys remember when Doria's mom ran that 5K? Or no, it was a 5K. It was like a half marathon for suicide prevention while Meghan was pregnant. Nobody knew what that meant. in hindsight, it's completely clear, right? So I can't imagine being on the West Coast of the United States while your pregnant daughter is telling you she's having feelings of perhaps harming herself, and you can't do anything about it before you even get the chance to maybe even meet your first grandchild. And then to see, I don't know what, I mean, I can't imagine what Doria must have been feeling. But whatever that was, then to now think about how she must be feeling now, not only just to be around her grandchildren, but then to be present, I'm assuming, at the birth of not one, but both. And then now to know that they're safe and out of what was tormenting Meghan at the time of her first pregnancy. So that's really the true gift to Doria, I think. And what a wonderful gift that is. And like I said, certainly on the other side of that, you are going to have a lot of people, even just for the time being until the next big news story happens. Of course, this is a huge one. But using the child's name as sort of something to try to beat Harry and Meghan over the head with, which they don't care. I'm pretty sure they've given it a lot of thought. But saying, oh, well, didn't you say you wanted to distance yourself from the royal family? Like, that to me sounds like the whole privacy argument. Didn't you say you wanted privacy? That doesn't mean that Harry is not going to have, or Meghan, because she also spoke highly of the Queen during the Oprah interview, that they're not going to have love for Elizabeth, and it could also be that Harry is, having lost his grandfather, is, which really they all should be thinking about, the fact that Elizabeth doesn't have a whole lot of time left, and her name, in her first name, right, will be carried, at least in some way, through Harry. And that's how Harry wanted to honor his great-grandmother. Because once she's gone, he doesn't have any grandmothers or mothers that are alive. So certainly he would want to honor them by allowing his daughter to carry their name in some form. I think it's beautiful. And the only people who actually want or think Doria should be in her feelings or feeling some type of way about Lilibet not having one of her names, or one of her names being Doria, they're the ones who don't care about Doria at all. Like, at all. Right? So basically the shit starters. That's all that is. So when you see that, girl, know what it is. Because these are people who are never going to be satisfied with anything, no matter what. No matter what. And so while they're saying, poor Doria, oh, poor Doria, she wasn't included, or she wasn't named, neither was Carol. Carol's not any one of Charlotte's names. Diana is, but Carol's not. So as far as I know, because as far as I know, because we really don't know. Let me stop being messy. As far as I know, Charlotte is William's only daughter. You understand? As far as I know, that's it. She's the only girl. So same thing would apply there. But no, y'all want to be petty and nitpicky and nasty only when it comes to Harry and Meghan, right? Y'all wouldn't care about Doria any other time except for when it's time to be messy. We see right through you. Further reactions, we have the royal family on Twitter basically reading the statement or tweeting the statement that I had read earlier, and then also adding Lilibet is Her Majesty's 11th great-grandchild with a picture of Harry and Meghan on their wedding day. On the Clarence House Twitter, which is the Twitter for Prince Charles and Camilla, It says, congratulations to Harry, Meghan, and Archie on the arrival of baby Lilibet Diana, with a picture of Harry, Meghan, and Archie in South Africa as they were meeting Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And it also says, wishing them all well at this special time. That's nice. And then, of course, on Kensington Palace, we're all delighted by the happy news of the arrival of baby Lili. Congrats to Harry, Meghan, and Archie. No picture. That's the driest one out of all of them. As to be expected. As for tweets, just for acknowledgement on social media, which that is also a part of just general PR. They could have at least included a picture. And this is just me comparing the 3 tweets. As always, Will and Kate out here doing the bare minimum. As to be expected. Okay, never ever set the bar too high for them. Honestly, they could have kept it. I know y'all probably think I'm being a little bit too hard, but they could have kept it. They could have at least included a picture, girl, but it is what it is. Also, it's nice to see Harry and Meghan's charities congratulating them, as is to be expected, but it's still nice that they care to acknowledge such a beautiful time in their lives. And of course, again, the world's media sharing that news and celebrating. And I just love the idea of flowers. After Archie was born, on their Instagram, we saw a picture of Meghan holding Archie over Diana's favorite flowers as a way to honor her, the forget-me-nots. Sentabale, I believe that means forget-me-not in that respective language. And Lili is a flower, Lily, but in name, it is the same name as the flower that is also, depending on the color, also representative of lots of different meanings, positive, beautiful meanings. For example, a white lily represents, and I'm just Googling here because I do not come equipped with this knowledge, but represents purity and rebirth. Pink lilies are said to symbolize femininity and admiration. Orange lilies are said to symbolize confidence and energy. Okay, cool. I guess because there's so many different types of lilies. Yellow lilies symbolize thankfulness, joy, and friendship. All of these things, I'm sure Harry and Meghan are experiencing in their new life, especially as they set up their life with their young children. But one thing we also know about Meghan is that Meghan is very, very into flowers. That is her nickname, right? That's her nickname from her mother. Her mother literally calls her Flower. And so I am just definitely going to go with the idea that they wanted their daughter to be named after a flower, but then also to honor the women in their lives. So we know Meghan loves peonies from the Instagram, but then if you remember when Meghan did the interview with Oprah and everybody was talking about her dress and the white flowers that were on her right shoulder of the dress, and how she picked the dress because of that lotus flower. And the lotus flower being a flower that has resilience and flourishes despite seemingly challenging conditions. And many cultures, it turns out, associates the lotus flower with the refusal to accept defeat and an unwavering faith, and having an unwavering faith. So Meghan is really into flowers and their meanings and what they represent and symbolize. And certainly it is no mistake, because if you know anything about Meghan, my girl's going to think long and hard about the things that she does. And certainly I would imagine about the name she gives her children, and especially her daughter. It is no mistake that she's going to call her child Lili, which is also the name of a flower. And that in and of itself is a thank you to her own mother. So I love it. Meghan is as resilient as that lotus flower that she wore on her dress, that Armani dress during the Oprah interview. And she has her own little flower now, her own baby girl. And I absolutely am over the moon for them, given all the challenges that they've had. All of the challenges that they've had. All of the devils against them. All of the obstacles that people have unnecessarily placed in their way. And the fact that they were able to overcome each and every one of them. They made it look easy. I'm sure it wasn't. But they finally have their family on their land, their privacy, doing it their way. All right. No leaks, no worries about anybody trying to undermine them and what they do. They can release the details or information about the birth of their daughter 2 days later, because that's what privacy is. Just completely doing it their way. And I want them to take some time off. I want them to just sit back and enjoy. There's no, crying every day because of what's being written about you in the papers. Right. Every time you go out, you have to wonder what people are thinking about you. I mean, there's none of that. No coming home to see Meghan crying as she's breastfeeding her daughter. Those days are done. And here's another unrelated bit of news. Patrick Adams, actually, who is basically the guy that flamed the royal family, remember, right before the Oprah interview, and they tried to call Meghan a bully. And he had that viral would be an understatement. That viral thread defending his good friend Meghan. You understand? He also had a baby girl on the same day as that Lili was born. So definitely congrats to him. I believe her name is Elliot Rowena Adams. It's just so funny how things go in waves that way, but then parallel to the people in your life. Which, if you can have a kid at the same time as your friends, that's also pretty awesome, because your friends get your kids, all your kids get to be around the same age group. So that was really, really cute to find out. So Diana has a fourth grandchild and Doria has a second. And speaking of Diana, once again, because for obvious reasons, her name is interlaced throughout this podcast. Her birthday is July 1st, so that's less than a month from now. That would have been her 60th birthday, and that's also when there is a statue being unveiled at Kensington Palace. And a lot of people are wondering whether Harry is going to show up. I highly doubt it. He could still go. He's handled business when Archie was a small baby as well. But for the most part, he's probably gonna go. Just because it's a statue. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, but I'd be okay if he didn't go. Surely he's gonna want to spend every waking moment with his new daughter, and I highly doubt Meghan is gonna take the trip as well, or they would take that trip as a family. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like, but I'll definitely be having my eyes peeled for that. That's coming up in less than a month. And as it usually goes, no matter what he does, somebody's going to have something to say about it. I know there's been a lot of things I haven't had the chance to talk about. since the last podcast. The last podcast was actually after Philip's funeral, sometime back in April, but I'll definitely be referencing the me you can't see in the next couple of episodes. I've tweeted about it a lot, but I haven't had the chance to actually talk about it. But that was the big thing. Of course, Vax Live happened, and of course, The Bench is coming out on June 8th. I absolutely wanted to talk about that. I just hadn't had the chance to record. I haven't been feeling my best as well, so I have to take that time to sort of preserve and to, apply self-care. As much as I'm asking other people to do it, I got to do it for myself as well. But I'm trying to really just get back into it. So that on that subject, I will probably shorten the episodes, just as a side tangent, because I'm winding down the episode anyway. But I'll probably shorten the episodes so that I can make them more frequently, just because it takes so much out of me to do those, hour and a half episodes, along with the editing, along with the visual editing, as well as the sound editing or the audio editing, and recording. Because, when you hear an hour of audio, that doesn't mean it took an hour to record. It took much longer because I'm always having to do different takes and stuff. So that it's not completely trash. But anyway, so thanks for bearing with me on that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about the me you can't see, or just reference it, just because there was so much to unpack with that, especially the additional details that Harry shared about their experience that wasn't exactly shared in the Oprah interview, and the context of everything that they've gone through. And also The Bench. I just love that, the book was announced about a couple weeks ago, but that it's going to be released 2 days after she gave birth to her daughter, and the book is to honor her son. So we can expect, certainly, at some point in the future, given that Meghan is now an author, that she will also write a book. I'm assuming, I don't know this, but I'm assuming that she'll write a book to honor the relationship that she has with her precious baby daughter. And I misspoke. The book will be released 4 days after she gave birth, but 2 days after baby Lily's birth was announced, which is today, which is the 6th of June. My God, we thought we were eating in May. We thought we were really doing the things in May, although May was really one of the livest months, I think, for the Sussex Squad this past May. But I'm just so over the moon, so overjoyed for Harry and Meghan. Welcome to the world, baby Lilibet. It's a beautiful world, despite all the things that make it so frustrating. But it's a beautiful world nonetheless. And here you are in it with us. And despite all odds, your parents have made a place for you. So, Sussex Squad and fans of Harry and Meghan everywhere, let's make sure to make our voices heard and to allow those 4 charities, as well as any other ones. I know that there was the fundraiser that had been ongoing. But definitely, if you haven't already, let those 4 charities and organizations that were listed by Harry and Meghan, Girl Inc., who Meghan has worked with since she's been back in California, Harvest Home, who Meghan has also starting a relationship with or built a relationship with, CanFed. Know them, love them. We've had that ongoing relationship, both with the Sussex Squad as well as with Harry and Meghan, as well as the Mahila Foundation. I'm sorry, I keep butchering that. I'm going to donate to all 4 of them right now, as soon as I'm done with this podcast. And I hope they feel the love from people all over the world, just excited to share in this news with Harry and Meghan. And if I haven't done so already, I'd like to just extend a personal congratulations to Harry, Meghan, and Archie for the addition of their sweet baby girl. Archie is a big brother. Harry has his baby girl. Meghan has her baby girl, and Doria has her granddaughter. And just to enjoy these quiet moments, these early days, and the peace that they finally have, that they've worked so hard for. And so with that, that is pretty much all I have for today. I wanted this episode to just be all about Lili, no drama, no Scotland, no Guardian pieces, none of that. We're welcoming this beautiful, because we already know, you know what I'm saying, this beautiful little girl and this beautiful family, just enveloping them in love and support, and just knowing that we saw what you went through. We supported you while you were trying to find a way out of what you guys were going through. And we celebrate with you as you finally get to that landing place that is adequate, beyond adequate, but is conducive to allowing you to raise your family in the loving environment that it deserves. So, you know where you guys can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Meghan Mood. You can find me on Instagram at Sussex Set. And as more details and more news comes out, you can be looking for more episodes. Again, shorter episodes, but more frequent episodes to drop. And so, thank you guys as always for your support, and take care of yourselves. And until next time, peace.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.